Well, Dougie Critchley joins us now for a more in-depth preview to tonight's final. Dougie, thanks for being with us.
Pleasure.
I suppose we should focus on Spain because we're doing an awful lot of build-up on England. And the omens that we've talked about for England, well, they've had Foden. Yeah, he and Conor Gallagher have beaten them in a tournament before. But what about if you're Spanish watching us this morning? There must be some leaning the other way too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's plenty of reasons for England fans to be a little bit worried this morning. You know, Spain have won all 6 games at this tournament. They are the first side to ever win 6 games at a single Euros. And you look at the quality of opponent they faced as well. Croatia, Italy, France, Germany. It is, light and day between the opponents that England have faced. They are looking to win a 4th consecutive major tournament final, the first side ever to do so. And some of the players they have in their side have been absolutely magnificent. I think if you were to do a team of the tournament now, there'd probably be 5 or 6 that would be Spanish, whereas you might struggle to include a single England player. But having said that, whilst England have shown a lot of resilience in this tournament, Spain have, conceded interesting opportunities as well. Late in that Germany game, forcing extra time in that game. So they definitely can be got at.
Spain have been brilliant. They've been exciting to watch. But I just wondered, when they played Georgia, they went behind early on and no one expected that. Does that just show that perhaps they do have some weaknesses?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you look at some of their midfield maybe is so excellent on the ball, particularly. Dani Olmo is much more of a number 10 than a number 8. And I think there's a little bit more space behind that than we see, particularly Rodri at Man City controls that space so effectively. Spain, I think, are more easy to counter-attack. They are a little bit susceptible to balls to the back post on Marc Cucurella. And England, can take a lot of confidence for the resilience they've shown in this tournament so far. Scoring with their first shot on target against Slovakia, against Switzerland, coming through penalty shootout against Switzerland as well, coming back from 1-0 down in their quarter-final and semi-final, becoming the first side to ever reach a final, having done that. And they've created moments in every game. They haven't maybe shown the dominance that Spain have in every game in terms of possession, but England definitely will have opportunities tonight. And in Bukayo Saka, and I thought Phil Foden really picked up in the last game as well. They have 2 players coming into this with a lot of confidence, hopefully.
We keep giving a lot of focus to Rodri. We know how good he is. We watch him week in, week out in the Premier League with Manchester City. But the one thing I'm really zoning in on is that Kobbie Mainoo kept him quite quiet and got the better of him in that FA Cup final last month.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant in that game, and it was a real sort of coming-of-age performance by Mainoo. Only made his debut for Man United in November time, but what a sensational story. Gareth Southgate was sort of trying various different combinations in midfield throughout this tournament. It started with Trent, Conor Gallagher got his opportunity next. But I think since Kobbie Mainoo's come in, he's made an enormous difference to this side. And you saw the positions that he was picking up against the Netherlands, particularly in that first half. He was so crucial to that probably best 45 I've really seen from a Southgate side throughout his whole tenure. And another key battle, Marc Cucurella versus Bukayo Saka. Cucurella's probably got a very good claim to be the outstanding left-back in this tournament, but Bukayo Saka has a brilliant record against him in a 2-2 draw against Chelsea. I think in October time at Stamford Bridge, he got us an assist. He was man of the match, Saka. In the 5-0 victory for Arsenal against Chelsea towards the end of the season, Saka provided another assist in that one. So Cucurella has had issues at Premier League level, trying to contain Bukayo Saka. I mean, most left-backs have. And that is where I can see England having the best inroads tonight.
Yeah, it's been England haven't been the best. I think, it's safe to say at the group stages, they looked like they were struggling. But in the knockout stages, they slowly begun to find their feet. What do you think it's down to? Why have they gradually got better as the tournament's gone on? Why have there been these key dramatic moments that have changed the game for England?
I think, to be honest, the person I'd want to give most credit for England's run is probably Gareth Southgate himself. I don't think England's key players have probably performed at their absolute best this tournament. I think they probably say that themselves. As you say, they have really picked up throughout the tournament. But Gareth Southgate's England record, only Fabio Capello has a better winning percentage as England manager, and that was a completely different era with a completely different set of players and a completely different atmosphere around the team. Gareth Southgate has reconnected the England public with that England team. He has tackled issues that have faced England's society as well as their team, most noticeably racism, head-on, dealt with that absolutely superbly. He's been a real spokesman for that. And you look at his record in major tournaments. England hadn't reached a final in 55 years prior to his takeover. Now they've reached back-to-back Euros finals, 3 semi-finals in 4 years, only losing to France in the quarter-finals, who, of course, nearly beat Argentina in the World Cup final in 2022. For most of my youth, it was England getting knocked out on penalties, red cards, embarrassing themselves, losing to minnows, or not even being at the tournament themselves in 2008. So I think the amount of credit that he deserves this tournament, especially because he really rolled the dice with his squad selection as well. No Henderson, no Grealish, no Sterling, no Rashford, players that have really performed so admirably for him over his 8 years. Massive props for settling on this squad and then changing formation halfway through as well. Really brave calls, and I think he deserves our utmost respect.
I was reading through plenty of stats this morning ahead of the game, and one that caught my eye was that England have completed more passes at this tournament than Spain. So they're a very different side to what we got used to between 2008 and 2012, where they were winning everything. Yeah,
absolutely. I think they're 4th for possession, they're 5th for pass accuracy. This side is way more dynamic. I don't think many of this starting 11 would get into that side necessarily, but they maybe create more entertaining football. It's definitely more dynamic, it's faster paced. With Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, they are key threats that we've got to contain tonight. I do like the fact that Trippier will be facing Lamar on his right foot as he cuts inside. Nico Williams versus Kyle Walker is going to be a key clash. Nico Williams has already embarrassed Giovanni Di Lorenzo, the Italy right-back, who's a superb defender in this tournament. Kyle Walker's probably not been at his absolute best, so that'll be interesting. But they've definitely been more entertaining. People forget that in the 2010 World Cup, Spain won every knockout game 1-0. This side create far more opportunities. They are highest for XG in this tournament. They've scored nearly double the amount of goals as England. They've taken 39 more shots. So it is a little bit ominous, but at the same time, England will have moments in this game, and you really do back them to take it. As I said before, their first shot on target against Slovakia, their first shot on target against Switzerland, and with players that are playing for key moments, and the likes of Harry Kane up front, who have been there in major tournaments. None of this Spain team have played in a major tournament final before, for Spain at least. That should go in England's favour.
Have you just put Kieran Trippier at left back over Luke Shaw?
I think he will start, yes.
OK, breaking news.
I think he will start. It's my personal opinion. Yeah. I obviously don't have any inside information, but I think Shaw will be used off the bench. I think there's a decent chance that it goes to extra time, and I don't think we want Shaw coming off at that stage. I think we want him fresh legs for the final 30 minutes. I think if England are in this game at 70 minutes, they've got a really good chance. So
you think it's going to go to extra time. How do you think this is going to play out? Can I get a score prediction from you, Dougie?
Yeah, I'll go with 2-1 England after extra time.
Oh, I'll take that.
Same as my thought.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Brilliant. Well done.
Dougie,
it's coming
great
home.
Stuff, mate.
Thank you.
Dougie says it's coming home. Thanks, Dougie.